Hey, what's up? My name is Henry and I'm an engineer, stock investor, real estate investor out of San Francisco. And I'm just out here trying to give you a different perspective on finance, success in life, and just hopefully you find some inspiration in here to hopefully change your life. So today I really want to just focus on buying stocks on support, right? When I say I'm buying stocks on sale, this is what I'm going to be going over. This is looking at a stock price in general, right? So ideally you already have a good stock in mind that's making money or is on a growth path, and now you're thinking when to buy. And I really don't like just hearing guys just hyped up, right? They're just buying on the hype. They see a stock shoot up 5x, right? From 25 cents to $98 in a month. And they think, you know what? I'm just gonna jump in now. It's just, I don't want to miss the ball. I'm just going to jump in. It's going to go to 20,000. Like, what? Are you crazy? Let's look up the chart for a second and make some sense out of it, right? And give you an idea. I know maybe you did your homework, you did your research. Hey, the stuff, they're making money. But you know what? Half the time this stuff is, even if you have a good company, you know, there's a bunch of crappy companies too, but if you had a good company that really had a product, that had something, they're on to something, you still got to make sure, and protect yourself, right? And it could possibly be things where people are just pumping them up, right? They're pumping them up to the top and then just attracting all the suckers, and then they dump it. They dump the crap out of it. And it's happened a lot lately, even with stocks that are, has a lot of potential. They're sounding really good. They're the Tesla killers or the Tesla competitors. And they've been just boosted up a little bit too hard. Guys jump in at the top and then it crashes more than halfway, right? Crashes like 80%. And I'm just trying to help you avoid that. So definitely do all of your own research. But for now, I'm gonna pull up just a couple examples to go over and explain to you what I mean by buying on support. There's a million other ways to do it too. I'm just saying, in the long run, right? If you're pulling up a 5-year chart and you are just looking at a stock, if there is any support levels, that's just a great place to buy, right? You can look at the RSI, MACD, you look at like the SMA, EMA, you look at everything. There's a million other things to look at, but keeping it super simple. Just look at support. So let's look at a lot of folks' favorite, Tesla. I'm gonna pull that guy up. Let's just look at the 5-year chart. So off the bat, if you're trying to buy Tesla right now, you just need to see that this thing has shot up to 1,877 today, right? So it's already broke out of the previous high. So this is like near all-time high levels. So if you looked at maybe back in March, this was at $358, and now it's gone up to $1,800. So to me, that's almost about straight up. I mean, it had a nice dip here, and it has some support, which is nice. But I mean, at 1,800, I don't know how much you expect to buy and how much more you expect to go. Yeah, I'll go to 20,000, and even then, at 20,000, like, there's going to be a lot better deals than buying it at 1,800. I'm just saying, the odds are that you can get a better deal. Even though you think, oh, it's never gonna go back, this and that, then I'm okay with that. Let it go. If you love it enough, you'll let it go. Shoot. And I'm looking at it right now. How about we do this? Let's go further back in the chart. Let's just say, if you were looking back at the lows were around 180. Right, you see in June of 2019, in around 2016, earlier in 2016, it was bouncing off of that level, right? So to me, that's what a support means. When there's a level where, the stock hits that level and people start to get interested, right? And then they buy it back up and you see it bounce off that level. So 180 was that place. People had years and years and years to love Tesla, and then when it dropped to 180, that should have been your cue to buy some. Not go crazy, but still buy some. You don't know how much lower it can go. But if you were one of the guys that were buying at the high, look at this high level at 372. You're like, oh, you know, it's gonna go to 5,000, it's gonna go to 10,000, and you bought at 372 just to watch it drop down to 180s, 170s. You are a lot more likely to just get rid of this thing. It's like a psychological thing, emotional thing. If you bought at the high, you see it drop by half, most likely, if you're new to this game, you're gonna dump the stock, right? It's nice, right? When it's hyped up, when it's flying, when it's high flying, you know, everybody's talking about it every day, and it feels good to like jump in, right? It might feel good to like, oh, feels like the time to jump in. Worst time to jump in. If you just keep a list of stocks that you like, that people have talked about, they believe in, do some research in, and just keep it on your list. There's no rush. There is no rush. Just watch some of the support. Even if you bought at some of these other support levels, 256, look, it hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then on the 5th time you bought it, you could have bought some. It's still way better than 370. And then when it dropped down to 172, you should have bought more. You should have just jumped in more. That's the trick to this. You should just be buying on support. You're a lot more likely to buy more if you bought it at 250. If you bought it at 370 at the top and you're just watching it drop down to that level, most likely you're not buying more. You're not believing it that much, right? You were just buying it on the hype, hoping it was gonna go to 5,000. And then if you look more recently, back in January 2020, it was double topping around 900, right? Worst time to buy. So imagine you bought at 900 and then it dropped all the way down to 350. And if you look, 350 again. So those previous highs, those previous resistance levels became support levels. So right when it dropped to 350, that was your cue to buy. You could have bought plenty more at 350. I don't know why. Folks weren't buying 350 right there. You could have bought more. And then instead, right now it's run up to 900, 1,000. Look, I don't even know how many people jumped in at 940, thinking it was going to go higher. And then on the little pullback, I don't know, that could have shook some guys out. But that probably was a spot to see this spot right here in the end of June. That was the spot. Like if you were, you know, I'll buy some, but I wouldn't go crazy here. There's not the spot to at 900. Even if you bought 900, yeah, now it's nice, you double. But if you bought at 350, you bought at 170, 180, you'd be rolling right now. So I'm just saying, this is one example. Let's look at some more. Apple, right? People loving their Apple. Pull up their 5-year chart. So look at the long term. I like looking at the long term. You look at too short term, it's cool. You can might make some decisions for like short term in and out trade, but I wouldn't make any long term hold trades based on like short term chart. So let's look at the long term. If you just go backwards, we'll go both ways, but look at backwards. 327, 329 is when I'm keeping an eye on it, right? It never hit that level. It's okay. You don't need to. Like, you don't need the FOMO. I don't need to worry that, oh man, I missed the boat. I didn't get the buy. Who gives a crap? Okay, there's a million stocks in there. There's thousands of stocks out there, right? And there's a bunch of good stocks all the time that will hit their support levels. Why don't you just wait for those? Keep that list going and just keep an eye on it, right? You know, a bunch of red days. Oh, this big red day. S&P dropped like 5%, another 5%. It dropped like 500 points. When you hear about those, you start pulling up your charts and start checking. So here was a great time. So this was in March. Apple was at 220. And look at, it was right around these support levels. You know, that really big hump right here, I would have been watching 228. You would have bought some at 228 and you're like, oh man, it's still dropping. It dropped to 214. I might even bought more, but you're a lot more likely to hold that thing though. Instead of buying it at 326, dropping at 214, you're getting a little nervous. But if it only dropped like $5, like, come on. If you're a long-term guy, you might have had a chance to hold that thing. And then now you would have reaped all the gains, up to 400 something. All right, also let's check out Disney. Disney's a little wild, right? There's a lot going on throughout the last 5 years, right? But there are some support levels. You have to look at places where, you know, it's bounced a couple times. It's bounced a couple times. People have some kind of feel for it, right? They're invested in these levels. they're keeping an eye on it, right? They're gonna feel some kind of way when they hit those levels. That's what you're looking for. It's not a science, it's not perfect. It's just human emotions. These are just people buying it up. You know, the more people that are like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this thing up, the higher it's gonna go. Or if the people are gonna sell, they're gonna sell. Like, these are just the levels people are watching, and they start to feel some kind of way when it hits those levels. So let's look. In March, $80, the low of $80. So if you looked around here, you know, back in 2016, 3 times, right around $90. Why wouldn't you just, you know what, at $90, I'm gonna take a stab at it. Let's just do it. It's right there. And even if before that, look at that. There was some at 97, you know, right around 97, 100 level, you know, would have been the bet. But still, it would have been way better than you jumping in at 151. You know what, Disney, I love Disney. Disney parks are awesome. They have it all the countries. They're making a bunch of money, a bunch of movies. But I'm not betting on them at the all-time high. Are you crazy? And you think, oh, it's never gonna come back, and bam, $80. And even now, you can keep track of these, right? Like, you know, there's levels that it pulls back to, like, you know, right around 118. That would have been stuff to keep an eye on, just to buy some. And even if it dropped to 108, it's okay, and now it's coming back. But you believe in it long-term, and it's a stock that's still growing, still making money. Why would you not buy some on support levels, right? I'm not guaranteeing you that it's gonna make you money, that it's gonna pop off of those levels. I wouldn't bet everything on it. You know, I made a video on my stock investing strategy that includes, you know, just touches on this, but this is why I wanna make a video dedicated just this. This is what I mean by support. But there's a bunch of other tips that I threw in there that you should definitely check out. So last one I wanna look at is Spacex, another favorite of folks. This one, you know, look at this. Imagine you were one of the guys like, hey, it's hyped up, wow, $40 from a low of $7 all the way to 40. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go for this thing. Patow. In March, down to $9, from $40 to $9. Most likely, you getting rid of that thing, okay? You're not holding this thing. You're not that high on it, okay? Most of the guys don't even know that much about it, and they're buying them up, just chasing the high. So that's why I never chase. Why would you? Like, I'm probably telling people, hey, you probably take it easy at 40, and then they're like, you crazy, it's never gonna come back. I'm like, dude, just no FOMO. Please have some patience. Stuff always comes back. And if it goes to 20,000, let it go. Let it go. It's okay. There's on to the next, okay? Let this one ride. Let them have it. They can have it. Don't be the guy that threw 100% of their account at $40 just to watch it go to $9, okay? Please. But besides that, if you look at this level in March, it wasn't perfect, but you know, SpaceX was hovering around $10-ish for a very long time, right? It actually broke below. So if you took this as a cue, even if at $12, that's actually where I came in, because I thought, hey, this previous high right here in 2019, you know what, let's give it a shot. And that's where I bought mine, and it still dropped down to $9. I didn't get more. I bought enough to like just see how this goes. And then this thing started to continue to pop. And even here, look, it popped back to $12. That was your cue right there. $12 again. Buy some more. And then as it goes, let it go. If it came back to this level, like, hey, $20, maybe you would consider $20, and it broke below. But if you bought 20 and now it's at 17, you're not feeling that bad, okay? Not like the $40 guy. The $40 guy is done, okay? He don't want to deal with this no more. So that is what I mean when I say buy on support. Buy stocks on sale. Just, you know, it doesn't always work out perfect, okay? Just not every chart is gonna be, you know, has a clear cut, and doesn't always work out. If you believe in a stock, you did all your homework, you checked all the fundamentals, they're growing or they're currently making a bunch of money and their future is looking good, then look at the chart, see if there's anything. If it's gone parabolic, let it go, you missed the boat. But if it's starting to, you know, come back, you know, keep it on your watch list, it's starting to come back sometimes, buy some. Okay, don't go all in either. I think in the long run, this is gonna increase your odds, right? There's a million other strategies, but if you're gonna buy something, please do not buy at the high. That's all I got for this one. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching and good luck out there.